Hi everyone, welcome back to Law School Gems with Bria. My name is Bria and I am the founder of Law School Gems. I am so excited for you to be here with me today. I'm dropping some great gems about professional attire and school supplies to get you ready for your first semester of law school. But before we get to that topic, let me tell you a little bit about me. I am a practicing in-house attorney for a publicly traded company here in Dallas, Texas, working for their marketing and advertising and legal group. And I just wanted to affirm you today. Thank you so much for being here with me. Just so you know, if you were here, you were meant to be here. I hope that this gives you the tools and the gems that you need to be prepared for your first semester of law school. This program, specifically these topics that I'm releasing twice a week, are geared toward first semester law students, or really anyone who has an interest in law school. So if that's you or someone you know, feel free to click and subscribe to this video, like it, share it with someone that may be of interest to it. And let's get this show on the road.
We are born to win. Come and learn the basics with Law School Gems.
So with respect to buying school supplies and buying professional attire for law school, you want to do that sooner rather than later, right? Especially if you've already been admitted and you're getting ready to enter the fall semester, as most of you will be. This is now the time to buy those school supplies and to buy that professional attire. You don't want to wait until the last minute if you can afford to not put it off any longer, right? And go ahead and purchase those things in advance. So the first thing on your list is a computer. I know some of this may seem rudimentary, but some of you may not know, so we're going to keep it simple and keep it to the basics. So a computer, preferably a laptop, something that you can use on the go as your device that'll be easily mobile for you and very accessible. With respect to your laptop, you want to make sure that you have enough memory and enough space on there so you're not slowed down during the semester trying to create more space, right? Which leads me to my next part about purchasing a hard drive. You want to make sure that you're backing up the data that you're saving on your laptop, because you will save a lot. You will download a lot. You will upload a lot. And you will have many notes and many handouts, etc. on your laptop. So make sure you're backing it up. Don't be like me or some of my friends that I know. We had laptops crash on us our first semester of law school, and we had to pick up the pieces with what we had, right? Don't be like that. Make sure you're backing up and saving your data and the information on your laptop at all times. Make sure you have a working charger, one that's not hanging on its last leg. Make sure your laptop isn't hanging on its last leg. Make sure that your laptop also has your organization folders on it. So any folders that you're going to use to be organized to help prepare you for that first semester of law school, make sure that's already been downloaded and created on that laptop. Make sure all of your course syllabi have been downloaded and created on that laptop as well. Next up, with respect to that laptop, make sure that you have the full Microsoft Office suite applications downloaded. You're going to need these for your first semester without a doubt. And also make sure that you have your law school weekly schedule or your monthly schedule or whatever that schedule looks like that we talked about in the first video for Law School Gems. Make sure that you have that downloaded on your computer as well. Next up on our list, we have a cell phone. Make sure your cell phone is working, it's accessible, it's not on its last leg. Make sure you have multiple chargers for your cell phone, because you will be out and about, especially if you are in-person, full-time, daytime law student. You're going to be on that campus a whole bunch, and you're going to need to have your charging and your docking stations available with you, right? But a biggie that a lot of law students forget about your cell phone, make sure you have enough voicemail box space. So you are going to be a busy, well sought after law student. I'm claiming it, I'm manifesting it for you right now. With that comes people wanting to reach out to you. And how are they going to do that? They're going to leave you voicemails on your phone. But a lot of young people either don't have their voicemail inboxes set up, from what I can see or what I've heard, or they're just too full, right? So make sure you have enough space on your phone. Make sure your phone has any apps that you need downloaded, specifically related to your student portal, or if there are any student connect sites, right? Student sites that help you get connected to other students on your campus. Make sure you have those downloaded as well. And also, if you're someone who's going to track your weekly law school schedule or your calendar on your phone, make sure that that's accessible and you already have that information plugged in as well. Next up on our list, we have a backpack or laptop bag. You guys try saying that 3 times fast. It is really, really difficult. But anyway, something to carry around your books, your binders, your laptop, your handouts, your class notes, your study aids, your outlines, your supplemental resources. You're going to need a bag to do that, right? And preferably one that's large enough and that has a lot of compartments so you can fit different things within your bag, including pens, highlighters, note tabs, anything like labels or anything of the above, right? And make sure that it's not squishing your laptop. One thing that happened to me when I was in your shoes is that I didn't have a large enough bag. So when I would put my laptop in my bag with my books and my other school supplies, etc., my laptop began to get smushed. And then the emblem of my Apple laptop began to show through on my screen as I was typing. It didn't affect the functionality of the laptop, but you could definitely see it coming through. And that was as a result of me not having a big enough bag to give my laptop enough breathing room. So keep that in mind as well. Speaking of pens and pencils and highlighters, I know we spoke about that a little bit in your bag. You're going to need all of those because that's what you're going to use, especially if you're a note taker, if you're a handwriter. You're going to need those things, even if you're not someone that's going to do that and you're just using your laptop. If you're reading your book, right, and you have a tangible book, you're going to want to highlight, you're going to want to annotate, you're going to want to notate. So make sure you have enough pens, pencils, highlighters, and anything like that, right? And also those labels, you know, the labels that you can drop in your book or your planner or your notes, something that's going to help you refer back to a page. They usually hang out a little bit. They're a highlighted color like a pink or orange or yellow or blue. Try to get you some of those if you can. And then also a padfolio. A padfolio is something that you use to keep your application materials in if you are seeking out, say, a scholarship or a job or something like that, right? It's what you use to go with you on those important interviews, etc., right? It's something that you can bring with you. It usually has like a little notebook in it where you can take some notes, jot down phone numbers, keep people's business cards, keep your own business cards in there. Gotta have a padfolio. And if you're lucky, when you get to law school, specifically on your first week or during orientation, your law school may even give you a padfolio, something that's embroidered with like your insignia from your law school, etc., right? So that may be something you could save money on and not purchase in advance, but wait until you get to law school or until you get to orientation. But definitely make sure that you have one. Also make sure that you are purchasing binders. If you are a tangible person, meaning you have to feel it, you have to see it, you have to have it in your hands, you're gonna want binders and you're gonna want dividers or tabs for those binders in order to organize them in the way that we spoke about in the first video for law school gems. You also want your printed schedule, right? If you're a tangible person and you need to see it and feel it, and you're someone who likes to scratch things off a to-do list, or you're someone who likes to check things off of your calendar or your schedule, make sure you have that printed off. Also make sure that you have sticky notes. Very, very important. You're going to be annotating a lot. You're going to be tabbing things a lot, especially in your books. So make sure that you have some sticky notes as well. Make sure that you have notebooks also. Even if you're someone that's going to take notes on your computer, it never hurts to have a spare notebook with you. And if you're not someone that's going to take notes on your computer and you're actually going to be writing your notes, then you're going to need a lot of notebooks, specifically one for each of your doctrinal courses and then one for your legal writing class if you have one. And then if there are any other extracurriculars added to your schedule your first semester of law school, you'll want a notebook for that as well. I like to keep the notebooks assorted in different colors so that way you can match it up with the classes and you can easily remember. Maybe blue is for property or green is for torts, yellow is for contracts, etc., right? So make sure that your notebooks are color coordinated because that'll really help you grab and go quickly if you're on the move and you don't have enough time to just, pack your bag the night before and you're scrambling at the last minute, right, to get to your classes. Also make sure that you have a book stand. This is something that I did not realize I needed when I was in law school. But when you're reading, right, we don't realize that we're reading down a lot. And so your neck is constantly being curved, your shoulders begin to crunch over, and you're oftentimes sitting in that position for hours on end. And it can really affect your neck, your shoulder, and your back. But if you have a book stand to prop your book up and you're able to read at eye level, that's really going to be a game changer for you. And it's going to help you immensely with your chiropractic bills later so you don't end up like someone I know, like myself. Okay. So make sure that you have a book stand as well. Now, one of my favorite topics that we're about to get into as well that you're going to need to purchase in advance of your first semester of law school beginning is professional attire. So professional attire is so important because we want to dress for success, right? And you never know who you're going to run into on your law school campus. I was one of those law students who believed that every day I was going to run into like Beyonce or Jay-Z or something. They were going to ask me to represent them. I needed to be best dressed, okay? So I came to impress always. I understand that that may not be everyone else's style or everyone else's vibe, and that's totally okay. You do what works for you. But when it comes to those networking events, when it comes to those cocktail events, when it comes to those job interviews, hell, even to some oral arguments that you have to do in classes, right? Or anything that you need to prepare for where you need to look nice. You want to make sure that you're not scrambling at the last minute to find professional attire. So without further ado, let me give you some staples that I think everyone, man or woman, should have in their closet to prepare them for their first semester of law school. And we have up, women pantsuit or a skirt suit will work if you are a female. Men, you should also have one or two suits in your closet as well. Each one of you, whether you're male or female, should have a black suit and then a navy blue suit also. And then as you expand your wardrobe and you can afford to purchase more things, maybe you'll add in a beige suit or a gray suit or something like that. But you want to start off with your three neutrals. So black, navy blue, or gray. Also, if you are a woman, you want black and nude pumps in patent leather or suede or matte. Also, if you are a man, I know a good shoe or a couple of good shoe brands out there. Cole Haan is really good, so are Oxfords. But Cole Haan for on-the-go business casual shoes that really aren't going to hurt your feet, that are going to look good in an interview. Those are always a good staple to have in your closet. And I am going to drop more resources for staples that both men and women should have in their professional attire wardrobe here in this video. Look for it at the bottom here, but I'll drop links to those as well so you can get more resources for where to purchase your items and what items you should have in your closet. Specifically with respect to where to purchase those items, I know Amazon has some really good deals as well. If you're a woman or a man, Banana Republic, Express, Gap, H&M is also a good low cost but good quality brand, you know, for what you need. Maybe not for your whole law school career, but at least for that first semester or for that first year, it'll help get you through before you need to purchase a new suit, right? And it's not going to break the budget or break the bank either. If you're someone who can't afford professional attire brand new, there are clothing banks that maybe your law school offers that you can contact someone in career services in advance to get access to that. Or once you get on campus, they can give you access to that clothing bank. There are also clothing shelters out there for people within your community that you can tap into. And then also there are some professional networks that have professional wardrobes just built up for people who need them, right? And they can help get you access to those as well. And then hand-me-downs. I know for me, I couldn't afford brand new suits right off the rack or off the showroom floor when I was in law school, but I had older aunts and people that I looked up to and parents and cousins that really lent a helping hand. One aunt in particular really held me down. She gave me some great suits and some great hand-me-down items that she used in her work, and I was able to make that work for me throughout law school, and they look great. You know, it was something that I could get dry cleaned, that I can make look like new. So those are always options to help ball on a budget, get the wardrobe that you need for professional attire without breaking the bank, because your girl understands about saving coins when you were in law school. So we're going to make sure that we do that for you as well. Also, you want to make sure that before your first semester of law school begins, now that we've talked about school supplies that you need and the professional attire that you need, you want to make sure that you tour your law school, right? Get a tour and get a feel for the place, for the campus, for where your classes are going to be, for what areas you might frequent. Try to stake out your study space so you can get a feel for what areas you may want to study in. If you are still a virtual law student and you haven't exactly returned to classes, get a feel for where you're going to study at your own home or wherever you're going to do your work or your coursework, right? Or wherever you're going to attend classes at. That's very important to start staking out your space now and creating that as your workspace, so you know that once you're in that environment, you're in work mode, you're in go time, right? And you're able to cut it off and turn it off and set clear boundaries between work and personal life. So that's very important. Also, in touring your campus, you can get access to where certain organizations are, where the school cafeteria cafeteria is, if you're someone who's on a larger campus and you have access to those resources, to where the student advisory boards are, or the student organizations and where they all gather, etc. Anything that could serve as a resource to you, whether it be career services or academic affairs or student activities in life or the registrar's office or anything like that, right? Make sure you know where all of those important offices are on campus prior to starting your first semester, because I promise you within that first week, you will likely go to one of them and you don't want to waste time trying to figure out where those are at. Make sure that you attend your law school orientation if you can and you have the availability in the schedule. I know some law schools make it mandatory, but even if they don't, try to go there, because that's where you're going to meet your peers. You're going to meet other law students that are like you, that are in your same predicament, that are starting off in their first semester of law school as well. You're going to get your ID so that way you can get access to the campus and to other places that you're going to need that ID in order to move around. You may actually get to talk to certain deans or administrators or advisors that you need if you have to change your schedule or if you want to switch out a class, right? And that's going to be a perfect opportunity to do that. You'll probably get some really cool swag to help support your school and where you're going to be and make you feel part of the family. You'll get to meet people and you'll get to network. You may even get to meet some of your professors in advance who may be there. And that's extremely important, just to, set the right tone, make a great impression, put one foot in front of the other. Definitely make sure you attend that orientation. It'll be really, really important for you. Also, make sure before you start your first semester of law school that you are reading and case briefing all of the classes for that first upcoming week. I know some students were, especially when I started law school, were reading as they went. I was someone who liked to get a week ahead, so that way I can make sure I stayed ahead of the game. I didn't fall behind, say if I had to miss a class or if I got sick or something like that. I always planned for the worst case scenario. I stayed ready so I didn't have to get ready. So make sure that you are doing the same thing. Try to read in advance of that first week so that way you have all of your assignments already done, all of your class reading done. You're ready to go within that first class on that first day for all of your classes. And what you can do to kind of refresh your memory about those cases if you read them too far before the class, which you don't want to do. But if you do that, or you run into that issue, make sure that you do your case brief at the time that you're reading so you can go back and get refreshed with your case brief and get refamiliarized with that case before you step into class, and in case you're cold called on then. Most importantly, I think before you go into your first semester of law school, you want to spend time resting and getting rejuvenated and just getting into the right mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual space that you need to be in order to crush that first semester of law school. It is so important, it's so vital, and you have to be in that right headspace in order to start how you want to finish, right? And finally, lastly for this video, make sure you guys have fun. I know I dropped a lot of information on you. I'm sure it may feel overwhelming right now, but take it one day at a time. You lay that one perfect brick, like Will Smith says, and you keep laying those bricks. And then at the end of it, you look up and you have a whole wall built. But don't worry about how am I going to build the wall right now. For now, just keep laying that one perfect brick, and I promise you'll get there. Continue to have fun. Don't take yourself too seriously. Remember your why when you meet those challenges, and you will meet them, and always go back to that why, right? But then just have fun. I know for me, I really overthought torts my first semester of law school, and it was a biggie for me. I struggled with that a lot, but I ultimately did have my epiphany moment or my aha moment, and I doubt I would have had that, had I not eventually learned how to relax and just be like, listen, I can't fight the current anymore. I got to go with it, so I got to stop resisting. I want you to do the same thing, and I want you to have fun. I want you to give yourself grace, patience. Breathe with me. It's going to be okay. I'm right here with you in this journey. We're going to be dropping videos every week to correspond with where you should be at in your first semester of law school to get you prepared. I'm so excited for this journey. If you have any other questions or concerns or comments, please feel free to drop them below. If I need to supplement these videos with additional information, I will. Be sure to tag a friend, like this video, and subscribe to the channel so we can continue to grow it. And thank you for watching to the end. That really helps as well. And if you know anyone that's interested in law school, maybe considering going to law school, or someone who is right now admitted and they're going into their first semester of law school, be sure to share this video with them if you found it informative. And as always, thank you so much for joining and tuning in. Bye guys, and I'll see you guys next week.